back here at Jacksonville State University. It's the 2017 Gridiron Challenge, and we got the Lee of Huntsville Generals taking on the Chattooga, Georgia Indians. John Holder, Chase Robinson in the booth with you. Gerhard Mathangani down on the sideline. And John, what we got here with this matchup?
Well, we got a team that is a 5A in Alabama, and Lee of Huntsville, a 5A team that plays up in the north part of the state, obviously from Huntsville, the Robert E. Lee Generals. And then you've got the Chattooga Indians. Chattooga, in the classification in Georgia, they would be a AA, but of course they have a lot larger schools in Georgia, so translated over here, they would be equivalent to a 5A school if they were in Alabama. And they are coming off really maybe the most successful season in Chattooga history last year, where they won their first playoff game in history. As a matter of fact, they won 2 as they made it all the way to the quarterfinals in AA playoffs in the state of Georgia. They lost 7 of college football players off that team did Chattooga, but as we can see, they are in the white and the black jerseys and the blue letters there. It should say the blue jerseys is Lee of Huntsville. As you can see, this is a very big Chattooga team. I had a chance to watch Chattooga last year. They were the season opener for Cedar Bluff last year at Cedar Bluff, and they beat Cedar Bluff 49-7. This was a very good football team, and they have a lot of good talent coming back again this year as well.
Well, Lee of Huntsville, the Generals, will start out on offense. It's Noah Watkins. He's in the number 7 jersey, who'll be starting at quarterback. They'll get the ball set, and we are set to get this one a 10-minute quarter here. We'll see how this one will be laid out. Watkins takes the snap, and he will hand it off there to number 15, Desarius Burks.
TJ Adams, immediately, that's the name we're going to call a lot. Adams is a 5'9", 280-pound defensive lineman. And even though he's only 5'9", you take a look at him right there. This is a very top-notch defensive lineman for the Indians, getting a lot of college looks, particularly from Appalachian State. We understand FBS school App State really wanting the services of TJ Adams.
Handoff this time goes to Harris, and he gains nothing there.
And Adams makes the tackle again. They run to the right, Adams makes the tackle. They go to the left, he makes the tackle. He's basically, they're playing it's like a 4-3, so he's playing one of the interior tackles there. In essence, though, they kind of shade him over a little bit, and he may play it, in essence, a nose guard in some situations. And right now, these first 2 plays, he is dominating that lead defensive front, offensive front, I should say.
For the Generals.
Watkins in the backfield. Burks lined up next to him. Watkins takes the snap. He'll hand off to Burks. And a penalty flag thrown into the pile there. And still nothing there for the Generals on offense.
Boy, it has been 3 and out, depending on what happens with the penalty here. This might be a hold on Lee, or we might have a face mask in there. And it will be a face mask penalty whistle against Chattooga. But the defensive line, there's some big guys. Obviously, Adams is a monster in there in the center. It's the 5-yard variety, so it will be 3rd down and long coming up, but that is a massive defensive front, and they have a lot of speed as well. And right now they're having their way with that Lee offensive line.
3rd down and 7 for the Lee High School Generals. Lee of Huntsville making the trip down to JSU today. Watkins takes the snap, looks to pass, gets it over this time to, that is number 18, Darius Taylor. He's a senior.
Malachi Mack was applying some pressure there. He's a 6'2", 200-pound offensive, or I should say outside linebacker, and he's a guy that is going to be another, looks like college prospect for them. They're very high on him. He was one of the leading tacklers last year, was Malachi Mack, 46. One of the leading tacklers, regardless of classification, in the state of Georgia last year. And certainly the leading tackler on this team. He was the leading tackler in their 2A region in Georgia. And he is back, and they think that he is going to shatter all of the tackling records, maybe in Chattooga history. They also believe he may wind up, before the season's done, maybe being the leading tackler this season in the state of Georgia.
Well, now we get to see what the Chattooga Indians have on offense. C.J. Martin in at quarterback. He'll be a senior, 6'2", 210. He, as a quarterback, is being recruited by several FCS schools.
He could also be recruited as a kicker. He is their place kicker. He's their punter. He also plays a little bit of tight end. They line him up at receiver sometimes. He is certainly their utility player.
The pitch to Malster and the long pass intended for Devin Price, incomplete. So that will bring up 2nd 10.
Mosteller, the first play from the game, Mosteller comes out and kind of telegraphed it, but still the receiver was wide open. But he's got a good arm. We know that, maybe too much of an arm that time, as they tried to throw basically the halfback pass, and it was wide open, but too far on the pass from Mosteller.
Martin gets the signal from the sideline. C.J. Martin takes the snap, handoff this time to Mosteller, and he'll pick up about 4 yards on that play.
Mosteller is only a 10th grader, and Mosteller last year kind of was the backup. He was not the featured player. We mentioned that all of their backfield basically was totally lost to graduation, but even last year as a backup, he averaged 9 yards per carry, did Mosteller, when he did have a chance to play last year.
Martin takes the snap, looks to pass. He will, but into the ground, an incomplete pass there for C.J. Martin, once again intended for Devin Price.
So the lead defensive unit, they hold, and we'll have a 4th down. It looks like a simulated punt coming here from the Chattooga Indians.
They'll march it down to the other end of the field. That will give the Generals another opportunity here on offense.
Lee with a lot of players on that far sideline. I wouldn't be surprised if they're dressing out maybe 80 players, something like that. Chattooga coming down from Somerville, Georgia. They're from the state of Georgia, but they're actually closer to us than Lee of Huntsville is. Just across the line, across from Cherokee County, go up to Cedar Bluff and Galesville and cross the line over there. And then you are in Somerville, Georgia very quickly. So we take a look at the Lee of Huntsville Generals coming out of the city of Huntsville, obviously. Tony Woods, 3rd-year head coach, dropped down from Class 6A to 5A a couple of years ago. This is his first head coaching job. He's been 11-10, so right around the 500 mark in his first 2 seasons. The year before last, he led Lee to the 6A playoffs. Last year, they just missed by 1 game after dropping down to 5A, the 5A playoffs.
Burks brought down way behind the line on that run attempt there for the Generals.
And right now, in 4 running plays that we have seen from Lee of Huntsville, it has been like rung into a stone wall out there with this defensive front from Chattooga. Chattooga head coach Charles Hammonds. Of course, he's a very familiar face to folks in Northeast Alabama, former head coach at Valley Head, also at Dade County, Georgia, up at Trenton. Been getting his 12th season as a head coach, his 4th season in Somerville. 19-16 in 3 seasons with the Indians, including their most successful season in school history as far as playoff goes last season.
Watkins puts it up in the air, intended there for number 18, Darius Taylor, but that will bounce out of his hands. Incomplete pass there for the Generals.
The replay, it looked like the ball may have slipped out of his hands. Kind of a wobble, a little bit of a wounded duck, kind of got hung up in the air. Still had a chance to make a play on the ball, but 2 Chattooga defenders in the neighborhood able to knock it away. And a 3rd down and long coming up here for Lee. And I think for Coach Woods, his big objective right now is finding some way to stop the pressure they're getting. I mean, right now they're able to drop off linebackers and to coverage, because right now that 4-man defensive line is controlling the line of scrimmage with just 4 guys, which as a coach, that's a dream come true. You can do a lot of things when you can do that.
Burks takes the snap. They'll quickly bring him down. So we're looking at about 4th down and 20.
We mentioned they did not have to blitz, but they chose to that time as they brought the middle linebacker, Troy Worsham, right up the center over between the guard and the center, and really by the time the Lee of Huntsville quarterback had the ball, he was back there and it was a sack. And we have seen just total domination by the Chattooga defense so far here against Lee of Huntsville.
And it'll be the Indians' turn back on offense after the simulated punt there. Minute 34 left in this first quarter.
Lee had a chance, or I should say Chattooga had a chance at a big play there, opening play of the game. They threw the halfback pass. The receiver was wide open, 20 yards behind the defender, but overthrew him. So let's see what Chattooga, with some good field position, can get started here from the 40.
Price will take the handoff directly, and he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. So that'll be 2nd and 10.
So C.J. Martin plays little quarterback. Devin Price playing little quarterback. Price that time gains about a yard. So a good situation for Coach Charles Hammonds to have, where got 2 quarterbacks evidently that can play.
Looks like Price will be in the backfield again to take the snap. And he'll take it himself again. He'll pick up about 4 yards on that play.
Nice hit out there by Jarquez Harris. Coming up and putting a fine lick on him at about the 45-yard line, and that is likely going to be the last play of quarter number 1.
At the loading dock, tag number Alabama 1CC9423. Please move your vehicle. Thank you.
And that will do it for the first quarter of play here between Chattooga and Lee of Huntsville. We'll be back with more from the Gridiron Challenge here at JSU.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Tim Hodges, Fred Wilson, Don Hudson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. With our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums, our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly supports the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
Join us May 19th and 20th for the Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show, presented by America's First Federal Credit Union. Come experience Alabama's largest in-water boat show. Test drive pontoons from Bennington, Sun Tracker, Silver Wave, South Bay Regency, and Avalon. Fishing boats from Tracker, Nitro, Express, and Challenger. And personal watercraft from Sea-Doo. Weekend events include fireworks, live music, vendors, and giveaways, including a brand new lake-ready Sun Tracker pontoon boat. May 19th and 20th in Pell City. We'll see you on the lake.
At the Gridiron Challenge, we got the Lee Generals taking on the Chattooga Indians, and the Indians on offense here as we begin the second quarter. They put 1 second back on the clock here, so and it will run out there. So
intended for number 7, Mosteller.
Pass intended there for Mosteller, and now it will be the end of the first quarter, John.
I think what happened there was Chattooga took a timeout with a second to go. They get 1 timeout, I guess, per quarter, and they took a timeout before the clock ran out. And so that was where the discrepancy came along. So now it's the end of the first quarter.
We got the Indians and the Generals here. And coming up, got another good game after this one, John.
Vincent Yellow Jackets and the Billingsley Bears, 2 teams from Central Alabama. Vincent from Shelby County, Billingsley coming up from Chattooga County. Down just to the north of Montgomery, they'll be in, and then we'll play some what we call some round-robin football. We normally have that in basketball. We'll have some round-robin football coming up between Cedar Bluff, Lynn, and Fayetteville. We are expecting showers and thunderstorms to start erupting across east and northeast Alabama this afternoon. The clouds are thickening up here. We're on a tight schedule here at JSU Stadium, so we're very hopeful that we can we may not be able to avoid the rain, but we're certainly hopeful that we can avoid some lightning out there and we don't have any storms popping up over these next 3 or 4 hours.
So now we are getting set to begin the second quarter here, and it will be the Generals on offense. Watkins Hands off to Burks, and he'll get back to the line of scrimmage there on that play.
And again, the running game just not producing anything because of that very active offensive front up there. We mentioned T.J. Adams, but also Quintel Price. Price is a 5'10", 195-pound defensive end. This was another guy that we were told to look out for. Adams, Jackson Louderberg, Devin Price, Quintal Price, some of the guys that we were told to look out for. And so far, that information has been correct.
Watkins takes the snap, and he is brought down way behind the line.
And again, we're talking about T.J. Adams leading the way. Had some help again that time from Malachi Mack. That is a formidable front there with Malachi Mack and T.J. Adams. And I have not seen any, let's forget the word block, Chase. I haven't seen anybody slow down T.J. Adams from Chattooga. He is like a piece of granite out there. The problem is it's a piece of granite that can move.
Yes.
And has some wheels on it.
So it'll be 3rd down and 20 now for the Lee Generals. Watkins takes the snap, looks to pass, does so, and will not gain any positive yardage there. That pass to Darius Taylor.
Another one of the stars over there at the cornerback position. Jackson Lowenberg coming up, making the stick that time. Again, another one of the star players. This is the team from Chattooga who lost 7 guys last year off a quarterfinal playoff team in Georgia, a team that finished 8-5. But they have a number of college prospects again. And from watching Chattooga last year and watching them this year, I don't see a big drop-off. They maybe don't have the explosiveness and the depth that they had at running back last year. They had some great running backs last year. But as far as their offensive and defensive lines, this is as good as they were last year. It's going to be another good Chattooga team that Coach Hammonds has put together up there in Summerville.
And here are the Indians back on offense, and we're seeing Devin Price back in at quarterback. Saw C.J. Martin start off the game, then Price last series, and he'll take it himself this time and gain about 5 yards.
Nice blocking up front. Hole closed quickly, but not before he could get 5 yards. And 2nd down and 5 coming up. No huddle offense being employed here by Chattooga as they're going to go quick.
Play gains 5 yards, 2nd down and 5.
Price takes the snap, and we'll call it for himself once again and pick up the 1st down.
Run again by Price.
5 and 6 yards at a time. Just you're basically using Tevin Price like a running back from his quarterback position, lining him up in the shotgun, kind of spreading folks out a little bit, and then taking advantage of some good blocking up front and averaging about 5 or 6 yards per carry since he's been at quarterback.
C.J. Martin back in at quarterback now for Chattooga. And he will hand off to Mosteller, and he will gain about a yard.
Mosteller that time looked like he was going to have a loss of 5 or 6 yards, somehow spun away. A great run, only wound up gaining about maybe a half yard, if that. So they're going to give him about a yard, maybe 2 yards after all is said and done.
Martin takes the snap. He'll roll out, looks to pass, does so, gets it over to number 88. That is Zach Tucker, and they'll pick up the 1st down.
Tucker listed at 6'2" and 180. I think he's a little bit bigger than 180. Nice little catch out there. 3rd down and very, very short, maybe less than a foot.
So they won't give him the 1st down on that. So, like you said, 3rd and short there. Martin will stay in at quarterback. He takes the snap. Handoff there to Quintel Price.
Price, 5'10", 195. Seems like all these backs they have are about 5'10", 5'11", 190, 195. We've seen a lot of depth at running back. This is a good-looking Chattooga team, again in 2017, I should say.
Devin Price then at quarterback. They'll have C.J. Martin lined up in a receiver slot there. Price takes it himself. He's not going to get anywhere, though. He'll lose about 3 yards.
Well, because we're not having live kicking today, per se, where we're not having kickoffs and things like that, we're going to miss a treat in seeing C.J. Martin, not only a great quarterback, but he is going to hold just about every kicking record in Chattooga history before he leaves. One of the top kickers we understand in the state of Georgia. Kicking in practice last week, 60-yard field goals without any problem. 80% last year on touchbacks. And he is going to be at quarterback again for this play.
Martin takes the snap. Rolls out, is met by number 91. That is Davion Watkins for the Generals. Brought him down way behind the line.
Watkins, just good pressure on the outside. Watch Watkins coming. Doesn't overrun. That was the key part there. He was going to try to cut it back and cut back inside was Martin. And just a nice athletic play for the sack. I'm going to be a little selfish here. Nothing against Chattooga, but I would kind of like to see this drive bog down a little bit and see if Martin can kick one of those booming field goals here. So we'll see what happens on 3rd and long. Got to get about 23 yards for the first down.
Clayton Johnson in at quarterback now for the Chattooga Indians. The pass intercepted there by Chris Reed of the Lee of Huntsville Generals.
That's about as good of a play on the ball as you're going to see at the high school level. Watch Reed here. Good position, goes up, snags it, plays it exactly the way you're supposed to play it, and that's just a good athletic play by Chris Reed of Lee. So not only do they not get the first down, they don't even get a chance to show off that big kicker and a chance for a field goal. So that was a mighty big turnover there for Lee of Huntsville.
So from the 16, the Generals will take over on offense.
Running clock, if you're just tuning in, we're going to go running clocks except for change of possessions and obviously timeouts and after scores and things like that. So trying to move along here with a tight schedule. Still a lot more football to come, still basically 4 more games. So we're basically at the halfway point here of the Spring Gridiron Challenge 2017. Day number 3 of the challenge, day number 5 of spring football here at JSU over the last week, or I guess about the last 9 days.
Watkins rolls out, and he'll get to about the 20-yard line, so he'll gain about 3 yards on that play.
Great speed by that time. Lewis Medina, a 260-pound defensive tackle. We haven't really called his name out, and watch Medina coming. Of course, obviously, there's Adams, the big guy. You know he's going to be back there. But then here comes Medina. Look at Medina coming all the way across the field, 260 pounds, and runs out the quarterback and runs him out of bounds.
Second down and about 7 to go for the Generals. Handoff to Burks, and he will get nowhere.
And as soon as he handed the ball off, we'll see this on the replay. As soon as he handed the ball off, there were 4 jerseys waiting for him. It already shed their tacklers, their blockers, and they were there waiting on him. Watch this right here. He hands it off, and look, there's white jerseys. By the time he takes the football, there are 4 white jerseys waiting on him.
And timeout on the field called by the Chattooga Indians. Here at about 1:03 left in the second quarter. We'll take a break. Be back with more of the Gridiron Challenge.
We were looking to sell our starter home and move into our dream home. After looking at all the options, we chose to work with ERA King. ERA means easy, responsive, and attention to detail. ERA King made the entire process of buying and selling a house easy. From helping us decide on a listing price to navigating the final closing, our agent worked with us every step of the way. ERA King. To us, it means always doing the right thing for every client. What will ERA mean to you? Find out at eraking.com.
Huge hailstorm equals huge savings at Buster Miles Ford in Heflin. Come experience a stress-free buying process during our hail sale and save thousands. Over 300 vehicles must go. The damage so small on some and saving so big on others. We have brought the professionals in to fix the cars right. Work has begun for our loss and your gain. Come take advantage of these savings, hopefully never to be seen again. Buster Miles Ford in Heflin off I-20, exit 199. The difference worth driving since 1947.
Back here at Jacksonville State University, and talked about some rain possibly coming in soon, and there you see some of the clouds in the sky right now. Burks, or Watkins that is, gets it over to Chris Reed, and they'll pick up the first down there for the Generals.
Chris Reed, nice concentration because the ball was almost swatted away at the last moment there. But he had good concentration, able to hang on to the ball, turn it upfield, get some positive yards out of it. As a matter of fact, going to pick up a first down for William Huntsville. And we're almost at halftime, and this is the first down that Lee's had.
Elwood Watkins in at quarterback again for the Generals with 40 seconds left here in the half. Handoff goes back to Reed, and he's just brought down as soon as he got the ball, like the last few times.
Well, they're waiting on him again in the backfield, just not getting any kind of push up front. Malachi Mack again, 46. It's the Adams and Mack show here so far. Those two guys, really all those guys on that defensive front, but especially those two guys on the defensive front have just really been dominating here in this first half for the Chattooga Indians.
Six seconds left. We'll see if they get a playoff here. And they will right before the horn sounds. Long pass there is incomplete, out of the hand of the Chattooga defender. So that will take us to the end of the second quarter there. And we're still tied up at 0 here between Chattooga and the Lee Generals.
All right, so we're here at the half, 0-0. Neither team has really threatened. Really the best scoring opportunity we had of the entire game was on that first play from scrimmage for Chattooga, where they had that halfback pass and overthrew it.
Well, we'll be back with more here from the Gridiron Challenge, Chattooga and Lee, here on TV 24.
Water is in a bit of trouble. Suspected of carrying harmful pollutants into community storm drains, stormwater faces a serious problem. When it rains, dirt, motor oil, excess fertilizer, and trash are washed into rivers, lakes, and streams. And a clean raindrop becomes an unwilling accomplice in the problem of water pollution. It's up to each of us to do our part. Visit cleanwatercampaign.com to learn more. Help protect our water.
When it comes to great tasting barbecue, nobody does it better than Dad's Barbecue. Dad's Barbecue is slow hickory cooked to perfection, and Dad's menu includes a wide selection of popular items such as our smoked chicken sandwich, ribs, salads, and the best chicken fingers in town. And Dad's offers fresh homemade hamburgers and hand-dipped ice cream shakes. Dad's utilizes the latest technology to ensure that your orders are always accurate and hot out of the kitchen. Family owned and operated since 1985, Dad's Barbecue, with 2 locations in Anniston to serve you.
Back here at the little halftime break here, we'll get set for the third quarter between the Lee Generals and the Chattooga Indians here from Jacksonville State University. Burgess snow-filled. Nice afternoon for some football here. So take a look at some of the fans in the stands here this afternoon. John Holder, Chase Robinson with you. Gerhard Mathangani down on the sideline here, and we still got some more football left this afternoon, but we got to finish one more quarter here of this one.
You are a football fan if you are out here today, because it is very, very warm and very muggy, especially down on field level. This turf adds probably 10 to 15 degrees to what already is a warm day out there. We're going to be close to 90 today. Dew point values are sky high up in the 70s, humidity values up in the 70s. Full sunshine. We got a few clouds back off to our west out here, but right now over the stadium here in Jacksonville right now, it is total 100% sunshine. And so it is a, if you want a suntan, you don't have to go to the pool or anything like that today. You can just come out here to JSU Stadium and you'll get all the sun that you want and more today out here at Burgess Snow Field.
The Chattooga Indians will start this quarter out on offense. And Clayton Johnson will be in at quarterback. He's in the number 14 jersey. He will be an upcoming junior.
The feel of this game to me is that barring some kind of a turnover or something like that, if Chattooga can get a little offense going, they probably can win this game with one score, because I'm telling you right now, the way the Chattooga defense is playing, it's going to take something crazy happening for Lee of Huntsville it's going to take a big play or something like that, because I just don't see from what we've seen so far Lee taking this ball and driving the ball 65 or 70 yards down the field against this defensive front that we've seen from Chattooga.
False start there will bring up a 1st and 15 now for the Indians. Johnson takes the snap. He hands off there to Ludy, and he will get back to the original line of scrimmage. Clayton Johnson back in at quarterback. We've seen 3 different quarterbacks in for this Chattooga team, and he hands off there to Ludy. Ball loose. They'll say he was down, I believe, there.
21 Ludy was upended, actually turned a somersault. You see right here, he went all the way over and turned a flip. The ball came loose, but the officials say he was down, and that is fortunate, because that was one of those situations where one of those crazy things I talked about happening almost happened there. Lee could have picked that up and run for a touchdown.
It'll stay with the Indians here. Johnson takes the snap. He'll hand off there to Shropshire.
Quintel Price, I believe, was.
Quintel Price.
Quintel Price was the ball carrier. They have shuffled in so many running backs. We've seen probably 5 different ball carriers, counting the quarterbacks, tote the football for the Indians here this afternoon.
Another run there for the Chattooga Indians.
Matter of fact, we've not only seen about 4 or 5 different running backs, we've seen 3 different guys quarterback take the snap for Chattooga. Chattooga had a good drive going the last time until the interception, and now they're driving again inside the Lee 50-yard line.
Johnson back to Price. He takes off. Be close to picking up the first down. It'll be a third and short here.
Quintel Price is a good-looking prospect there at tailback for Chattooga. Some big runs in this drive.
Johnson takes the snap. Back to Price. They will pick up the first down that time. And they'll spot him down at about the 40-yard line.
Looks like they found something with Price here. It looks like Coach Charles Hammond's just going to let the big guy tote the ball. They are just giving it to him and riding him on this drive. They're going to give him a little bit of a break now as he goes out to the sideline. He's carried the ball about 4 times in a row. Very hot and muggy out there. And you got to consider the conditioning here on May the 20th is not what it's going to be on August the 20th. They've not had a lot of time to spend on the conditioning work like they will this summer, because they've only had, this is really just the 10th day of practice they've had.
That was Brennan Whitlock on the run there. Gained a couple for the Chattooga Indians. .635 left here in this one. Johnson lets it fly. Whoa, no, what a nice catch there from Devin Price, and into the end zone he goes for a touchdown.
Looked like it was going to be intercepted. It looked like a nice play was going to be made on the ball by the Lee of Huntsville defender. But look at this throw, right on the money, and just mistimed the jump. The defender from Lee, Kamari Artis. Artis, if he had waited about another 2 seconds, probably could have knocked that ball away, just jumped too soon. And the ball landed right in the hands of Price, and he waltzed into the end zone for the first score of the game.
Under 6 minutes to go here, and now we'll get to see C.J. Martin kick the ball. We've seen him at tight end. We've seen him at quarterback. Now here is one of the top kickers in the state of Georgia.
Was not supposed to be a live kick, but I think a couple of the guys from Lee of Huntsville forgot that momentarily. And I think they're going to say, I hear some folks over there on the Chattooga sideline saying, kick it again, kick it again. I think that was because there was when we say there's no live and no rush, that means you don't come in there and stand right in front of the holder by the kicker and kind of and just stand there. You just stay where you are. You stay on your side of the line of scrimmage.
Martin once again, and it will be good. So 7-0 is the lead for the Chattooga Indians over the Lee of Huntsville Generals.
And we can tell, even with that extra point, you can tell Martin a strong leg as he put it well into the bleachers on the east end of the stadium here at JSU Stadium. Fine-looking prospect. That's the kind of guy a college coach, especially maybe a smaller college, that, you know, when you got a guy that can come in, maybe play a little quarterback for you, can play a little tight end, H-back, maybe a little receiver, and then to boot, he is one of the top kickers, and he's also a punter, as we understand it.
Mm-hmm.
So talk about a very valuable guy, a guy that can come in and fill a lot of positions for you.
Now the Generals will make their way back onto the field. And we will see Samir Allen take some snaps at quarterback now. His first action of the game, and he gives it to Jadavian Johnson.
Lee needs to bust. I don't know how you do that against this defensive line of Chattooga, but Chase, they really need to bust loose with some kind of a big play. You just have the feeling that is the only way that Lee is going to score is some kind of a big play.
Yeah.
A broken tackle, a long pass, maybe breaking a tackle at the line of scrimmage, because consistently moving the ball down the field against this Chattooga defense, we just haven't seen any evidence that they're going to be able to do that. Of course, we've got some second-team players in there now for Chattooga on that defensive line, so some of those guys like T.J. Adams are out of there, so let's see what they can do here against the second-teamers.
Snap to Allen, the long pass over his head. Intended target there was number 16. Don't have him on our roster.
Do not have a 16 on the roster, so he did a good job of trying to track that down. That was kind of like the play on the halfback pass that Chattooga had, where he was wide open, and it wasn't a bad pass, but it was just too far. And now another 3rd and long for the Lee Generals, and that has kind of been their situation all day long, has been 3rd and long offensively.
Pass complete this time to Mikkel Robinson for the Generals.
Pass complete to number 4, Michael Robinson.
Not enough for the first down, but 2 yards short. Will they think about going for it here? Maybe Coach Woods over there thinking about maybe going for it here on 4th down and about 2, a little more than 2. And it does look like they are going to go for it.
A little over 2 minutes left here.
They'll need to hurry to get this off. They break the huddle. Anytime you break the huddle at 12, it's tough to get it off, and they broke the huddle at about 12. So we'll see if they can get everybody lined up as we go down to 5 and 4. 3 and 2 and 1, and they barely get it off.
Allen takes the snap, and he will get it to Robinson, and it looks like they will give him the first down there.
Good call by the officials to give him the forward progress. They needed to go to the 45, and he has just crossed the 45. First down for Lee.
Number 4, Michael Robinson will pick up the first down.
Allen back in at quarterback for the Generals. The minute 10 left here. Allen takes the snap. Hand off there to Johnson. And he may gain a yard on that play.
Even these second string linemen coming in for Chattooga on defense have been very active. It's just been tough to find any running lanes whatsoever. Any success that Lee of Huntsville has had offensively, every bit of that has come via the pass, the short passing game. The deep passes have not been there because they don't have enough time to throw, and the running game has been totally shut down by this defense from Chattooga in Summerville, Georgia.
Under 30 seconds to go here between Chattooga and Lee of Huntsville. Allen takes the snap. He looks to pass, long pass way over the head of his intended receiver there. So that's the second time we've seen him overthrow a pass there.
And that will run out the end of the quarter with a running clock. That's why the clock is still running even after an incomplete pass. So we'll go to quarter number 4.
7-0, Chattooga lead over the Lee Generals here at the end of 3 quarters. Here for the Gridiron Challenge on TV 24.
Hi, this is Kevin Riggin with the all-new Tameron Honda in Gadsden. We're excited to be one of the newest and fastest growing Honda dealers in Central Alabama. And with every new Tameron Honda, you get a 250,000-mile powertrain guarantee. I've personally been serving Central Alabama for over 25 years with all your Honda needs. Come see me today or check out our website at TameronHondaGadsden.com. Tameron Honda in Gadsden, where you're going to love the way you're treated.
I got back my smack talk touchdown, hole-in-one, 3-point home run, hat trick, pavement-pounding, record-setting goal across the finish line. Because Core didn't give up, I didn't give up. And I certainly didn't give in. I'm going to get back to doing what I love. I'm going to get back to winning.
Back here at Jacksonville State University, Burgess Snowfield at JSU Stadium, the Chattooga Indians are up on the Lee Generals 7-0. Here's where we begin the 4th quarter. Now, if you're a Jacksonville State softball fan, they're playing Princeton right now, and they have the 1-0 lead. As they're about to begin the 2nd inning down there in Tallahassee. We got some high school football going now, though, and the Lee Generals on offense. It's Allen, another long throw.
Long throw, but way overthrown that time. Maybe a miscommunication between the quarterback and the receiver. It looked like the receiver cut his route short by about 15 or 20 yards. And it will be 4th down and 10. So another, we would think, this would be a simulated punt situation.
Coming up at the end of the Lee Huntsville Chattooga game.
They'll move it down to the other end of the field. They'll continue to run the clock here. If you're just joining us, you see the clock running. We got some time restraints on today, so we're keeping the games moving. And we still got some more football to go. Again, Billingsley and Vincent will take the field next.
Cedar Bluff, Lynn, and Fayetteville will play a round robin after that, and then we will be done. And trying to hope that the rain activity and especially any thunderstorms will stay away from Jacksonville over the next 2 or 3 hours.
So the Indians back on offense. Handoff goes to E.J. Lockley.
Handoff to number 27, E.J. Lockley. Play gains 4 yards, second down 6.
Back to Lockley and ball loose, and it looks like the Generals will hop onto it.
So we said barring a turnover, barring some crazy play happening, and this is going to be Lee's opportunity right here. Keep in mind, these are second-team players for the most part coming up, but Lee has the opportunity by far, their only time that they've had a chance to score today.
Andrew Hawkins, would you please move your car? It is about to be towed. Again, may I have your attention, please? Andrew Hawkins.
Under
please
about 7:25 left here in this one.
Thank you.
And Lee Huntsville has a chance here to put themselves on the board.
So here we go, 15-yard line. This is probably most likely going to be the only opportunity Lee will have to try to get into the end zone today.
Allen takes the snap. He'll hand off there to Price, and wide open into the end zone he goes for a touchdown for the Generals.
Didn't take long. One play, 15 yards, touchdown, Lee of Huntsville. So good to see the Generals get on the board. You don't want to drive all the way down from Huntsville in the spring game. Worked all hard all spring, played in the heat, and not get a score of some kind at least. So Tony Woods and his team registering on the scoreboard here at JSU Stadium.
And they will be on now to attempt the extra point. That will be Jonathan Vickers on to attempt.
Trying to tie things up here at 7-7.
Number 13, Vickers to attempt the extra point.
Kick is up and no good. So Chattooga will hang on to that 7-6 lead here with 5:50 left in this game.
Clock will continue to run. It will be Chattooga ball. And no live kickoffs. The only kicks we're really having, no punts, no kickoffs. The only thing we're having is extra points and field goals, and there is no live rush on those. So they'll place the ball after the change of possession at the 35-yard line with Chattooga. Looks like Chattooga's and Lee as well, both teams now taking advantage here in this fourth and final quarter to get younger guys in, JV, B-team players in.
Cash Cole, or Cash Allen, rather, will be in at quarterback for the Indians. They will call a timeout, I believe.
Timeout. Lee.
7-6, Chattooga lead here in the fourth quarter. We'll be back with more of the Gridiron Challenge.
At Family Health and Wellness Center in Oxford, we believe in treating every patient like members of our own family. That's what we do every day. Dr. Edmond, a board-certified primary care physician, and his staff are here for you through each step of your wellness journey. Dr. Edmond also routinely visits his patients who have been hospitalized and makes follow-up calls to ensure they are on the road to recovery. Check us out online, call us, or come by our office. One visit and you'll know you're a member of our family.
For great food and great service and a great atmosphere, come and see us at Top of the River in Anniston. At Top of the River, all of our products are prepared fresh daily with our own special recipes, including our farm-raised, grain-fed catfish. Large groups and private groups from 50 to 250 are welcome, and reservations are accepted 7 days a week. And ask about our full on-site catering. Family owned and operated since 1982 and always kid-friendly. Top of the River in Anniston.
Back here at the Gridiron Challenge, 5:12 left here in this one. The Chattooga Indians up 7-6 over the Lee of Huntsville Generals. Flag on the play before the snap is snapped, and a false start there on the Indians.
Now, that was so easy. I would be the worst official ever in history, but that was such an easy one to call that even I would have made that one and got it right. As 76 Lacey just stood up right before they snapped the football.
It will be a 1st and 15 now for the Indians coming out of the timeout. Allen hands it off there to Price. Or that is E.J. Lockley, rather, number 27.
Wholesale changes now as Chattooga. We mentioned that probably, and by my estimation, probably have about 80 guys dressed out.
Mm-hmm.
And they just changed out the entire team just between those two plays. So obviously Coach Hammond's over there trying to get all of his players to get some action here on this college stadium in this spring jamboree.
Lockley takes the handoff. Once again, this time Clayton Johnson was in at quarterback. That will bring up a 3rd down and 11. .410 left. Clock runs. Johnson gets tripped up. He looks to pass, but wow, met by number 92. 82, that is Amarian Stegar. Gets the sack there.
Stumbled, and that was a disaster from the beginning. He stumbled, and then by the time he regained his balance and he looked, and here comes Omarion Steger back there to lay him out, and another sack. So basically that time, Lee of Huntsville giving Chattooga a little bit of their own medicine as they brought the pressure defensively that time.
And the punt will be simulated.
Lee Huntsville will have the ball 1st down and 10.
This will be 1st and 10 for the Generals. Chattooga makes their way out onto the field.
And it looks like Chattooga is empty the bench and playing everybody, which is a good thing. To really, for a lot of this, it may be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for a lot of these kids to play on turf in a college stadium on television. We'll have a flag before the play. It looks like maybe a false start. Going to be whistled against the Lee Generals.
Kyrie Smith is in at quarterback for the Generals.
Actually, offside. I've seen more offside penalties in the last 3 days than I think I've seen in an entire football season. So I should have known it would be an offside. That's the best, safest bet to make.
Replay 1st down.
Lee trying to score and win the game. They trail 7-6 with about 2 minutes to go.
Smith takes the snap. He hands off there to Johnson. So it will be 2nd down and 5. With under 2 minutes to go.
Number 27, Jaden Johnson on the carry for the Generals. Tackle made by number 59, Bass.
Smith takes the snap. He'll take it himself this time. Gets across the 50, down to about the 47-yard line.
Number 10, Kyrie Smith on the quarterback keeper. Tackle is made by number 30, Andrew Fowler. Third down and 2.
32. Lee just content to run the football. I think they're more interested in maybe running their offense than they are with these young guys than winning the game, but we'll see here as we go under a minute.
Smith will take the snap. And he'll take it around himself, picks up the 1st down And we'll get across the 40.
Run by number 10, Smith. Tackle made by 17.
So there's a first down, and now a chance inside the 40. If they want to take a couple of shots maybe at the end zone, they're in position to do it.
First down, Generals.
Clock is now running.
Smith back in at quarterback. 25 seconds to go. And pass caught there by Dakota Schrader. He is brought down. Bring up a second down.
That might be the last play. They'll have to really hurry if they're going to get this play off. And I don't think there's any way they can do it, breaking the huddle with 3 seconds. And now they'll call a timeout.
Timeout called with 2 seconds left.
I was under the impression that Lee probably didn't have a timeout left, and that apparently is the case as they wind it to. I'm not sure. That's the end of the game, and the officials are stepping in. So apparently Lee did not have a timeout left, because after the officials discussed it, they wound the clock and let it go to 0.
So that will do it. Chattooga will win this one 7-6 over the Lee Generals here at Jacksonville State University. And we got Gerhard Mathangani down on the field, and he'll try to catch up with the coaches down there. They're going to go ahead and start the 5-minute clock in between games there. Two good teams. Impressed by both of those teams, John.
Tell you what, I think Lee of Huntsville, of course, we saw Russellville last night in a game against Sachs, and these two teams are in the same region, are Lee of Huntsville and Russellville. So I think that'd be a pretty good matchup. I think they'll be in contention there for a playoff spot. They were 5-5 last year, just missed it by a game. And Chattooga winning a playoff game for the first time in school history. As a matter of fact, won 2 of those, as they were 8-5 last year and went to the quarterfinals in AA in Georgia. And I see just as good a team as I saw last year from Chattooga, so I think that's a definite playoff contender right there up in Summerville.
And let's go down to the field. Here's Gerhard Mathangani.
All right, guys, I'm here with both Coach Woods and Coach Hammond. We'll start with Coach Woods from Lee of Huntsville. Lee Huntsville. First off, Coach, just your overall aspects of this game. The 9 practices leading up to this game, and then being able to close out your spring. Kind of give us some observations of your team.
For me, spring training is about evaluation and keeping everybody healthy. And I think we did a pretty good job of keeping everybody healthy. Came out and got a good test against Chattooga, well-coached ball club. Very, very strong on the defensive side of the ball. So got to evaluate some things and find out some stuff we need to work on and find some stuff that we may be able to do in the upcoming season.
What do you mean for your ball club to come out to a place like this in a college stadium and be able to play a high-class team?
Oh, it's big time, man. In Huntsville, Alabama, a lot of our kids don't get a chance to get out and get on campus as much, and playing a team from out of the state meant a lot to them, and again, a formidable opponent.
Guys, Coach, you guys look good. Best of luck down the future. All right, Coach Chris, Coach Hammond, talk about, first off, being able to come out here to Jacksonville State and play a school from the state of Alabama. I know you've played a couple schools from Alabama last year in Fort Payne and also Cedar Bluff, and to be able to play another one in Lee Huntsville.
Oh, yeah, and Lee's very good. We've watched him on tape, and I've kept up with him the last few years, and we wanted one of those type challenges. I heard you talk about 9 days. I think we got 8, and we had 1 returning starter on offense. Some of our defense was back, so we knew we was going to have some struggles there, but, we didn't want to turn the football over. Me and Coach Woods talked 2 or 3 times. We didn't want anybody hurt. We wanted to get them on tape, and we got everything we needed out of it today. I think he's pleased, and I'm pleased, and we had a good game. I mean, it was a lot of fun. We got every kid in, and wasn't a lot of turnovers, wasn't a lot of penalties, and 2 pretty good football teams going at each other. I'm telling you, it was a pretty good ball game.
Absolutely. For those that don't know the Georgia football schedule, talk about what lays ahead for your unit, and then as you get ready for the regular season.
We open with Fort Payne. They're much better, and everybody over here knows about them. And then we go to Dawson County, who was a second-round team last year. Then we go to Ridgeland, which was a second-round team last year. And then, You know, we get into region, and we were at the quarterfinals last year, but we've got Pepperell, who was at the quarterfinals last year, Model. They're all good every week. We don't have one week where we can say, all right, guys, get these young guys ready. There's not one of them. So we can go 2-8, or we can go 8-2. You know, that's just the way it is every week. It's tough. It is.
All right, Coach Hammond, thank you so much for coming out. Absolutely, absolutely. Good stuff having you. So, guys, Coach Hammond and Coach Woods, lots of great takeaways. And as you can see, some good friends here as they head back off to their respective states and get their ball clubs ready for the 2017 season. Guys?
Thank you, Gerhard. And that will do it for the Chattooga-Lee Huntsville game. 7-6. Chattooga wins that one. Coming up next, we got a good one. Vincent and Billingsley from the Gridiron Challenge here at Jacksonville State University.